Hi, my name is Debbie Oversee, and I am going to present this live webinar to you called Live Prepared Questions. These are questions that we get at our book fairs, we might get on the website, we might get on our Facebook. A lot of these this week are going to be pretty frequent questions we get a lot of. But if you have any questions, feel free to write them in the chat box or go to our Facebook page or website and share them. And I'll share the website here in a minute. Anyway, my name is Debbie Oversee. I have been using Right Start for quite a while. I started in around 2004. I transitioned my older 3 children into level E after 2 years of debating. A lot of that was with cost, and I'll address that here in a little bit. I started my younger 2 a couple years later, and then they went all the way through level G and on into algebra, and my youngest now is 17. I have been doing book fairs for Right Start since my youngest 2 are in a level D, so that's probably been about 8 or 9 years. So we get a lot of questions, and I'm just excited to get to help answer some of these questions. I'm going to go, we have a website. And this is, all right, is this showing on the screen?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay. We have a website called rightstartmath.com, which offers placement tests. So that's the first thing. We have a question. The biggest question is, what level should I start my child with? So we recommend going and taking the placement test. There's 2 places. You have up here, which will take you to the computer test, or you can go over here to resources and you click on resources and it's going to give you options. And the first one is take the placement test. I always recommend printing out the placement test. I think it's important that you give it to your child to let them take it. I just know, like I said, I have 6 children, homeschooled all of them. Sometimes I think they know more than they know. Sometimes they know more than I think. So doing the placement test and having them give them the opportunity to really show you what they do know and what they don't know. So where do you figure out what level you need? Well, the best way is to see where they get their answers wrong. However, I caution you, sometimes they may get an answer wrong, yet they know what they're doing, they just did their computation wrong. And so that's important. You really want to make sure they're at a place where they don't understand the questions they're being asked. If they're getting their computation wrong, that's something that they can work on, and they'll get to play games and do other things to work on that. But you're really looking for that place where they are not understanding. So the other thing would be too, say they test and you're not sure, should we go through level C or go to level D, because they're right at the fringe. Maybe the last question they answered says level C, but the very next one would say level D. Go to the sample lessons. That is also on our resource page. You could click down and go down where it says here like level A objectives, level B objectives. I'm just going to say you have a child that's between level C and level D. You're going to go to the objectives and then look through these and check mark if they know these or not. Like numeration, can they skip count by 2s and 5s? Are they understanding place value and can write numbers up to 9,999? Can they understand subtraction? If you're saying yes to most of these, good chance your child is probably going to be ready for level D. But if you're looking at this and saying, no, I'm not sure, or he could use a little extra work, then you'll know that level C is a good level. Here I have level C and level D together, just so you know, that's what I would recommend. Print them out, go through, see what they know. And again, this is only if you have a child that's between C and D. If you have a child that places solid into B or solid into C, then please start at that level. You don't need to start at A. Some people have, and that's okay if they know their child. But if your child does not need to, please don't, because they're just going to be bored. It's easy stuff. They already understand certain things. Now they're just going to be learning it the way Right Start teaches it. And if all else fails, contact us. We love to hear from you. We are more than happy to help you figure it out. Here's our information. It's under the contact up here. You just click on that. It gives you our phone number. You can email us. You can send us a message, however you want to contact us. And we will get back with you and help you figure it out. So question number 2 I get a lot of is this a spiral program or a mastery program? Again, on our website, you can find this under resources. It's under our frequently asked questions. And if you scroll down, you see down here, does this program take a mastery or a spiral approach? I printed it out so I just wanted to read a little bit of it to you, because sometimes these things I find better if I can read it to you than trying to remember it. So basically, a spiral learning is based on behaviorism. It says we're programmable machines and we need endless repetition to master something. You get the same material year after year in ever widening circles, with an anticipation that increased exposure will eventually lead to mastery. The number of topics in a spiral is covered is very broad, but they don't get very deep. The mastery approach is built sequentially. There's no need to move on to the next step until the preceding one is mastered, is the philosophy. Lessons may take many days or even weeks if necessary for students to master. Fewer topics are covered in the mastery approach. Pre-testing and post-testing are done to assure mastery. Now, both of these approaches have some validity, but they also have some drawbacks. And honestly, Right Start is not one or the other. We're kind of a combination of both. Dr. Cotter has done a lot of research on how the brains work, and our brain works by attaching new information to something that is already known. So the more ways information is attached to the brain, the better it is learned. Children need more than one exposure and more than one way to learn a topic, but repeated exposures to the same material are not enough for mastery. We need to teach students to be problem solvers. Right Start Mathematics introduces a large number of topics, but they are built sequentially for greater understanding. So students need to be challenged by many topics in order to see how the math connects, the interconnectedness of math. For example, one of the goals of mathematics instruction is that students be fluid in their basic facts. So students will learn strategies for mastering their facts in a variety of ways, and they're going to also master their facts by playing games, which gives them a reason for wanting to learn their facts. So in Right Start, students learn techniques for thinking mathematically. Dr. Cotter has systematically introduced principles of mathematics that lead students to self-discovery through the well-designed lessons. So you can't say that we're one or the other. We're really a combination of both. And again, if you want to read this yourself, you can go to our website and see it. Another question we get a lot are all those manipulatives needed? Yes, they are technically. We have a program that focuses on developing the child's conceptual understanding of all the critical math concepts. And so topics are approached in a variety of ways, which requires a number of specific material. Now, we do offer a couple different ways of doing this. One is the full math set, which you see on the left, that has everything you need to be able to teach the lessons. I also understand how the finances could be an issue. I, again, am a mother of 6 children, a homeschooling mom of 6, with a husband who worked and I didn't. And so our finances were tight. So I truly understand that need for being frugal. So I'm so thankful that Right Start offers also the Super Saver set. And I just want to show, I'm showing it here. I'm going to talk a little bit more in detail for cost. If you were to buy each piece individually, because some people will like to get a few items here for this level and this, and a few more, what do I need for this level? I truly understand it. But if you were to do that overall, it would be over $300. We offer it in the set, and we're able to offer it at a discount, almost a little bit over $100 off to do that. Think about it. If you have multiple children, you're going to be using these over multiple years. So your investment is a little higher at the beginning, but then it pays off through the years. If you're able to do the full math set, that is really the ideal way to do it. It just makes everything so much easier. But then again, I understand that maybe you're not in that position. So we do offer the Super Saver set. This has the main items that you would need to get from Right Start, which are the 1-inch tiles. These are used for measuring. They're used for pattern. So each of these tiles, and that's these little colors up here, the red, the yellow, the green, and the blue, they are 1 inch. So that's important. We have our math card games, which has all the directions for all the math games that we have in the lessons. Our basic drawing tool set, our math cards, which are important to use, as well as the centimeter cubes, the balance, and the abacus. I don't know if you're aware, our abacus is made in the United States. We actually make it in the office at Right Start. It's pretty cool to get to see him do that. So here are some options. And then again, if you are in say the first edition and you are wanting to go into the second edition, you don't have to buy everything new. We have bridge sets. So again, you can contact us and find out what you would need. And you can contact us to see, the best way that you can get your manipulatives. All right, fourth question. And I'm going to end with this fourth question. And I don't know that it's really a question, but it is a concern that a lot of people tend to have, and that is Right Start teacher intensive? Or they attribute teacher intensive to Right Start. And I'm going to have to say that personally, I have a problem with that word intensive, because I do not see Right Start being teacher intensive. Is it require interaction from the parent? Yes. It's important that you teach your children. Is it going to require sacrifice to have to spend time teaching our children? Most definitely. You're going to have to determine, though, what's important and what is a priority. For us, when my children were little, reading, writing, and arithmetic were the priorities. And Bible, I always started off with Bible. And I made sure we got reading done, we got our arithmetic done, and then some writing, because it really depends on the children. I have some delayed learners, so it's a little bit more challenging in some areas. I don't know anything but teacher interactive with my children. I don't have any children I could have just sat a notebook, a workbook down with them and say, here, go do this workbook, at least until they got older. But when they were little, it required me to have to be present with them. It meant I had to sacrifice a lot of things. Well, I shouldn't say a lot of things, but some things that you may find very important. We did not do a lot of that outside activities out of our home when the kids were little, because I realized that our time, our focus, our priority was in the schooling. It's not that we didn't go and do things, but it had to be things we could do as a family. So no sports with all 6 kids running in different directions, or dance or gymnastics, or all those really neat things that are fun and great to do. But when we homeschool, sometimes we might not get to do those if it's going to interfere with the academics. A lot of people will say, oh, it's teacher intensive. It requires you to a lot of time from the teacher or the parent. Again, I really struggle with this, and I'm just being honest with you guys. I also do teach. I have a history class I teach to middle schoolers, and a civics class I teach to middle schoolers. I have to come up with the curriculum. I have to write the lesson plans. I have to look for the homework. I have to make the worksheets. That is teacher intensive. Right Start Math. Oh, I open up a book. This is one of the lessons right here. I open up the book. Oh, wow. My lesson plan's written for me. It tells me exactly what I need to say. It even tells me the answer, which is so great. It tells me my objectives. It tells me the materials I'm going to need. All I have to do is just grab those materials. Sometimes I'll even tell the kids, hey, go get your abacus and your dry erase board and make sure you have your workbook. Or maybe I keep the workbook depending on their age. This is an open and go program. I love the fact that even if I was not able to teach my children, I could hand this lesson plan to my husband or even my parents when they were helping out with us and say, listen, can you help today and do their math? It's okay if you don't truly understand what's going on, just read through it because they understand. So I just want to encourage you guys to use the term teacher interactive, parent interactive. It does require your interaction with your child. It's important. I know some people want and have asked if we're going to put our lessons on video. And to Dr. Cotter, it's so important that you have that eye contact with those children, that you can see what they're doing and how they're learning. You can sit a workbook in front of a child, and there are some children that are going to be fine with it and go forth and conquer math. There's a lot of children that are going to look like they're able to do math, but they're truly not understanding it. And I say this from a personal example, just for myself. I did well in math in school. I got good grades, A's and B's. And it wasn't until I was trying to teach my own children math that I realized I did not truly understand what I was supposed to be doing. Some things I could understand, but other things, I was a finger counter. And yes, I did okay in math. Yes, I could fill out a worksheet. Yes, I passed. But did I have any understanding of what was going on? Not really. Right Start helped me as a parent to really truly learn to understand what math is about. I have such a love for math now that I never knew I even had because I understand it. And that's what makes me excited with the children is that they're going to get to understand it. And Right Start works for any child. It works for a child who is really good at math. It works for a child who's not as good at math. And that's probably something we're going to talk about next week or the next time we do a live webinar with questions is what if I have a child that, needs to go faster or needs to go slower? So I hope you join us. We'll make a announcement on our Facebook and we'll send out an email. And if you, like I said, if you have any other questions you want us to address, please contact us and let us know. That is it for today. Thank you.